For the next 2 weeks, I'll be spending my time alone. Well, with 16 dogs and a cat. Not entirely alone. My parents are going to be in Portugal for the next 2 weeks, which I'm very happy about. It's half work, half vacation, but they really deserved the time off, and this is their first time in Europe. And I am in charge of taking care of all 17 fur babies. 15 of the dogs are my parents, and 2 dogs are mine and the cat. But we all live under the same household, so 17 in total. And as you could guess, we go through a lot of dog food. But I'm sure you guys are curious to meet the gang, so we're gonna start off with Miss Vodka. She is the queen of the house. And then we have Nala. She loves attention. Mia is a hyper mess. And then we have Yellow, Tiling, and Manchita. All 3 of them were found together with one other dog, but we gave her away. Risita was pregnant when we rescued her. And then we have Fidel, which she's just Fidel. Millie has been with us for 11 years and she's 15 now and is the only surviving dog from the OG gang. Chimmy and I have beef. Chimmy Lee is his sister and their mom is Luz Clarita, which she came with the house, and their dad is Pichirulo, which he also came with the house. Chichi is the Lion King of the house, as we like to call him, and his son is our neighbor's dog, Max, and his mom is also our neighbor's dog, so there was a little scandal there. Then we have MJ, which is my dog, and she's just crazy. And then Vina, which my mom rescued him here. She brought him to Miami for me, and then I brought him back here. And then we have Kitty. I rescued her in Miami and I brought her back here. But as you can tell, we very much love dogs in this family. And if you're wondering what it's like living with this many dogs, it's extremely chaotic and loud, and you will never eat in peace. Hello. So it's about 4:30 or so, and I have been spending the morning trying to upload my YouTube video that was posted last week because I had really bad internet. Guys, shh! Like they'll listen to me. I need to go to the studio, but while I'm waiting for this to upload, I'm going to cut out some patterns, or like the basic block patterns, because I have 5 more orders left to make. 3 linen sets and 2 pistachio lyocell sets. And one of the pistachios is a 2X and one of the linen brown sets is a 3X. So I don't have the patterns made for it. So I printed out the basic block for a 2X and a 3X, and basically they're just both on this piece of paper, like both lines, so that I can just see the difference, which is about like, I don't even know, an inch off. So I'm gonna tape them here and then go to the studio and like finish grading, and yeah, let's just get into that. Habino. Alright, I have cut the bodices, front and back. I have to do the pants, but honestly, like it's too thick. And it's easier to do it on my table, to be honest. So I'm just gonna go to my studio and do this, even though I don't feel like going, but I have to feed my dog. And the last dog is Cleo. She stays at the studio and she is very sweet, very hyper, but she will rip your face off if she has to. So my studio is located on one of my parents' lands that they rent, and it has this building on it, and the back, it used to have a bunch of vegetables and everything, but now my dad has been farming at our new land that he is buying, which has all the citrus trees and the anturios, which are a type of flower that I can't tell you what they are in English. I only know it in Spanish. But here there's just basically plantains and bananas in the back, and that's it. There's like nothing here right now because he's letting the land rest. But my studio is on here, and in this building, it used to be a school, like a little school, and it is falling apart. My parents were living in here for a while they were fixing the house that we live in now. And I'm very grateful that I've been able to have my studio on here and have like my own space. I've realized that it's really important to kind of have like that separate space from like your workplace and your home. Even though I know that not everyone can have, can't rent out a studio. I don't even mean like renting out something. Just like a separate room in your house, if it's possible. And if you can't do it now, maybe try and save up to eventually do it in the future, because I feel like it's really important to just have that separation, because although I still do go home and still work, like I'll go on my computer and do work, I won't stay up all night sewing. Because if I did have my studio at home, like I would be staying up all night sewing. Like that's what I used to do. To play on what I was talking about last week, whenever you're a business owner, you no longer work a 9-to-5, you work 24/7, and the work never stops, and you're consistently thinking about all the things that you have to do, and it is just draining. So it's good to have like that separate space and really try and like control not working. But it's honestly hard when you do it by yourself. But now I will no longer have this space because I am moving. It is 9:24 p.m. and the power went out while I was in the middle of cooking around 8:30. And the power goes out here it hasn't been going out very frequently lately, but usually it always goes out. So I just thought, oh great, the power went out, and it usually comes back in an hour, or sometimes it literally won't come back until the next day if it's at night. But I started to shit my pants because I'm by myself, and thank God I have 15 dogs. So if someone were to get up in here, I had 15 plushable dogs that really don't do anything, but they bark. Anyways, I was a little bit scared, but I was on FaceTime with my boyfriend, but then my grandma called. She was like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. She's like, the entire island doesn't have power. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, what's going on? And she's like, I have power, I have solar panels. And I was like, oh, well, good for you. But my friend Daniela, she's like, I know something exploded and it's still on fire. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what's going on, but now I don't have power, I hope. I was literally making hummus. I was gonna use the blender, about to use the blender, and the power went out. But I was cooking on my stove, and thank God I have gas stove. That's literally the only thing that survives every time the power goes out, thank God I have a gas stove. They need to stop barking. They're tripping me out. I locked all the doors, but they're tripping me out. I don't like it. Anyways, that's my update. Wish me luck. Good morning. It's the next day and the power hasn't came back, and we're pretty sure it's not gonna come back for a while, which is concerning because I have to sew. But today I'm not sewing. Today I'm going to the beach. And this was already planned, so thank goodness. But I'm gonna meet up with my friend Daniela and we're gonna go surfing. I've never been surfing, so this is gonna be an adventure. Yeah, it'll be fun. Okay, but I'll see you guys there. I decided to move back to Puerto Rico because my boyfriend and I were living in a small studio apartment in Miami during the pandemic, and we really wanted to get away from the city and have more space, so we packed up and we moved in with my parents in January of 2021. I had been really craving being surrounded by nature again since we were in the middle of the pandemic and we were stuck inside all day every day. So this seemed like the right choice at the time. And it was. We both grew and learned so much living here, and we were both able to focus on our crafts and improve our skills. We live up in the mountains. Our closest grocery store is 30 minutes away, so everything is always a drive, and we realized quickly that this was pretty inconvenient, but we learned to manage it and it wasn't so bad after a while. But San Juan, the main capital, is still 2 hours away, and that's where mostly everything is happening. After 9 months, my boyfriend decided to move back to Florida because it was easier for him to find a job and to play live shows since he is a musician. But I decided to stay because I wasn't ready to leave. Although being here brought many challenges, I loved it. I was born here, but I only lived here until I was 5, so I never really got to fully experience what it was like living in Puerto Rico. But I learned to realize that being in the mountains and always isolated started to affect my mental health, since I really love being involved in a community and always being around people and hanging out with friends. So it was really starting to take a toll being alone all the time. Even though I did have my parents, it wasn't the same. Surprisingly, the fashion industry here is pretty great. There are a lot of amazing designers, and the sustainable community is small, but there for sure is one. I could sit here and give you multiple reasons as to why I'm deciding to leave Puerto Rico, but honestly, I know that if I really wanted to make it here, I could. For a while, I've just been sitting around waiting for opportunities to come to me when I should be creating them. And I knew if I was more consistent with trying to reach out to people and trying to go to events, even though there really aren't any, I could have a more successful business here. But honestly, I would have to move to San Juan for that to happen, and I don't really want to live there. But I'm deciding that I want to move back to Miami. So I just finished patterning out the 2X and 3X pattern, and I was going to cut out a muslin and make a sample just to make sure it looks good. But I just remembered that I can't sew it. I can't sew it. So I'm just gonna go like this. Look right. I feel like I need to fix it. I miss all the opportunities that I used to have and all of the friends that I had made living in Miami, and I never really got the chance to really grow my brand in Miami because it was during the pandemic that I started it and then I moved to Puerto Rico. I honestly don't think that you have to live in the major cities to become successful, and everyone's definition of successful is different, but it does help because there are more opportunities and there are more people who are also trying to do the same thing as you. Puerto Rico will always be home to me. My entire family lives here. I will always have a reason to come back, and I have many plans to grow the sustainable fashion industry here. I really loved living in Miami because it was both the city and the tropical life, and I realized that I really need the balance of having nature plus a bit of city because I do love getting dressed up and going out and hanging out with people, but I also do love being alone and being within nature. The power finally came back on at 4 a.m. last night, and I was finally able to make my hummus. I was literally in the middle of making this when the power went out, and like all the ingredients were in there. I just needed to blend it, so I left it in the fridge. But thank God the power is back. I was starting to get, I am still, but like so anxious and so stressed because of all the things that I had to do and I couldn't do because there was a power. And I'm just over the feeling of feeling anxious right now, and I'm going to eat and go to the studio and get what I need to get done so that this can go away. So I finally got my fabrics from my Miami supplier. I got the linen fabrics in, and I actually got 2 more orders, and they're for the natural linen color. And of course I have been putting off like getting them sent to me, waiting to get more orders for them, and when I get them sent I get more orders for the linen. So now I'm gonna have to ask him to send me more fabric. I must wash these before I cut them out though, to like pre-shrink, and they're like kind of itchy. So I must wash these. On top of getting 2 more orders for the sets, I actually have quite a couple custom orders, which is why I'm fine that I haven't gotten many orders for the sets, because these custom orders are kind of time consuming and I want to make sure that I can finish them before I move. I haven't bought my plane ticket yet for this reason. I'm not sure how long I plan to stay in Miami. For now, we're just going with the flow because the future is too unpredictable. But I hope you guys subscribe and you follow along on this journey while I figure out what the heck I am doing with my life. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, peace and love. Guys, what the flip? The power went out as I'm literally sewing. The universe has it out for me right now a little bit. It doesn't, but it does. I'm mad at it right now. And maybe that's why this is happening. So I need to change my mindset. The power will come on! Right now!